All right. It's that time again, isn't it, for a little video? Am I going to continue down the road as I did with my last video, in which I talk about how I have come out as a person who has a sexual attraction for transsexuals as well as women. The former, which is obviously something that I have been suppressing for many years, which I'm now able to come to terms with. And since doing my last video, not surprisingly, I have been met with a lot of retaliation, primarily from the intelligence agencies who run the program and their many proxies, who have been taking all kinds of liberties, especially as it relates to their propaganda claims and accusations and the propaganda campaigns that they're always broadcasting to the world. They're obviously using the fact that I have kinks and attraction to transsexuals as a means of proclaiming that everything that they have ever accused me of publicly is now true because of this, which obviously couldn't be any further from the truth. And anybody with any kind of critical thinking skill should know this. And it's only those who are indoctrinated to such an extent that hate and despise me regardless of the factual circumstances and the truth, who would desperately want to believe any and everything that is being propagandized by this conglomerate of states and intelligence agencies, whom are openly running a global social engineering program or experiments. These people's hatred towards me personally, as far as I can tell, is mostly based on their desperate need to hold on to their crumbling belief systems about the world and the powers that be. The intelligence agencies, which are simultaneously responsible for the remote neural monitoring and manipulation of me for decades now, are obviously retaliating against me more now than ever before because a huge part of their narratives regarding me and my sexual preferences and kinks are being nullified by me because I'm openly talking about what and whom I like. Much of which will not come as a surprise to many either, because as I have said, it's not really a secret, just something that I previously was unable to come to terms with, and therefore only very rarely did I watch transsexual porn. And despite owning sex toys for years, I never really used them, and believe you me, they have constantly, over the years, been trying to coerce and manipulate me to watch this type of porn and use sex toys in secret, only so that they could use that against me in their propaganda campaigns, as a means of telling and showing the world how this is supposedly proves in some deranged way that I was guilty of all the sex crimes that they were endlessly making me guilty of without ever charging, prosecuting, or even interviewing me by the police. In fact, to this day in 2024, I am still not allowed to know in any detail what they are publicly accusing me of. However, regarding their extrajudicial persecution of me, labelling me guilty for sex crimes in public without ever charging me, I have time and again showed the world my actual paperwork from way back when until present, and thereby with time I have completely destroyed this part of their narratives too. For some time now, they have had to rely almost entirely on my somewhat unconventional sexual preferences and kinks to convince the world that I was supposedly some kind of serial sex criminal, an actual pedophile, which is ludicrous. And since I'm openly talking about these things, I'm in the midst of nullifying this absurd pretext too, that transsexual porn and sex toys is somehow akin to being a sex criminal, which is obviously completely absurd and fraudulent. One thing has nothing to do with the other, and publicly stating to the world, literally, that you have these sexual preferences and kinks is immensely difficult for anybody, let alone someone in my circumstances who is living in a real-life Truman Show 2.0. And you have to come to the realization first, and this for me, granted, has taken way too long, but looking objectively at things, I have always been forthcoming to the best of my abilities, even on this sensitive subjects, and I have for sure given everybody an opportunity to go and see my actual paperwork for themselves. And everything we know about the powers that be and the intelligence agencies responsible for this global social engineering program and the public social and political persecution of me, we have all now witnessed time and again how they are willing to do just about anything to have me set up. They want to have me either imprisoned or institutionalized or killed or both, and they will go to just about any length to accomplish one or more of these objectives. And their need to here and now to be successful in these regards increases manyfold the more that I am able to nullify their narratives and destroy their fabricated pretexts by simply telling and showing the truth to the world. This is precisely why there's such an immense effort to have me silenced and censored on all social media, and things are only getting worse and worse as everything else in the program.